Hi everybody, I'm James Spadola, City Council at Large for the City of Wilmington. Today I'm featuring NESTER, a Wilmington-based company that helps potential home buyers and current homeowners estimate the cost of ownership over time through a web app. Joining me today is founder and owner, Brendan Kennealey. Thank you for being with us today. So for those that don't know, Brendan is the former president of Sleaze School and now founder of an awesome company called NESTER. So tell me about that transition. You went from running one of the premier schools in Delaware, with your capstone probably being Abyssinia Stadium, and now you're doing a startup focused on housing repair costs.
I guess when you set it up that way, it doesn't sound like a natural transition, but actually it was. So first, I had a fantastic time. I was president of Sleaze for 10 years. It was really wonderful. Got to work with lots of folks here in the city, especially on the Abyssinia Stadium deal, which was a lot of fun, and it's just so nice to see it getting all of its use now. We did a lot of other things as well. I honestly would say the part that I'm probably most proud of is we set up a major scholarship fund that funds first-generation kids and with a focus on kids who live in the city.
Awesome.
And so that's been really important. And Sleaze has had that role for over 100 years. Waves of immigrants getting educated as they came in, and that's an important legacy for us at the school. So
was that the scholarship funded by Amazon founder stepdad?
Yeah, Mike Bezos.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
he's a Sally's grad.
He's a Sleaze grad. He came over from Cuba, spoke no English. Sleaze had a program at that time to welcome those Cuban immigrants, and he wanted to give back and do something similar, and so that's what we did the scholarship for.
Awesome.
Yeah, which was fantastic. As part of my role, though, at Sleaze I was involved with lots of construction, obviously the stadium being a big part, other facilities-related stuff. We budgeted for things like that. It's not the most glamorous part of things at times. But as part of that, I got a lot of background in budgeting and facility stuff, and a buddy of mine had bought a house recently, and he had all this stuff going wrong with the house, and what I learned was that a lot of the stuff that was going wrong really was just up against its useful life. The HVAC needs to be replaced, the hot water heater needs to be replaced, and he wasn't ready for that. He didn't know that was coming. And I started asking him, why? Like, how come he didn't know? And he's a smart guy. He did all the right things. And with my background, what I realized is, like, God, people are buying houses or own their houses. They don't really know what's coming. Unlike when we were at school, we had some basic tools at our disposal that helped us plan for those things, to anticipate those things. And that's really how NESTER was born. It was, why don't we just do what we do at school and in other commercial type of facilities? Why don't we just do that for your house? Predicting when your roof is going to need to be replaced, your hot water heater, that stuff is pretty predictable actually, but it takes most homeowners by surprise. And we said we can predict this and help them be ready. And so that was the idea for NESTER. It's how it got born, to help. Originally it was to help buyers. What we do is we give a buyer a report, kind of like you get a Carfax report before you buy a car. So what we do that is for a home buyer, before they put in their offer, we give them a report. It says, okay, if you buy this house, over the next 15 years, here are all the major systems that are going to need to be replaced and when, and then how much you need to budget to get ready for that. And so that was what we did first, and now we do it for homeowners too, because homeowners came to us and said, hey, I own my house, I'd love to know what's coming soon. And so we do a very similar thing now for homeowners.
Great. So a Carfax for homes, if I were to break it down.
Yeah, that's the
most simplest.
That's the elevator pitch, yeah, for sure.
So where do you see NESTER going? Because one of the things that, when I heard about it, to me, it seems very scalable in the sense that, you have the formula, and then you have, how many customers do you have today?
A few hundred at this point.
And you could have a couple thousand in a month, and you could have 1 million, years down the road. Talk about the scalability of it and where you see it going. Are you talking to Zillow? Do you see an early exit here?
A couple things. So it is incredibly scalable. We are currently, even though we are very much a Wilmington, founded-based company, we're available across the country. So, we've built the sort of the tech and the algorithms in the background that can do this for any house in the U.S. So it's enormous, very scalable. Our focus right now is to just build a great company, and if Zillow comes calling, certainly we'll answer their phone call. But our focus is not to exit. Our focus right now, is to just keep building a great company. But we see lots of ways that we can continue to provide value to customers. So as we get more customers and we get more real-time data from customers about the things that are going on in their house, what we see is a couple things. One is being able to tell a customer, hey, for everybody in your zip code, this is how long a Carrier furnace is lasting. Well, that's pretty powerful if when they go to replace their furnace, we can arm them with some data that helps them make a good decision about a replacement. So we can do things like that. We're also looking at ways where we can be the sort of a repository for all the things in your house. So, all the user manuals, all the owner manuals, all the paint colors you have in all the rooms in your house. You probably have that in a binder somewhere, or paint cans are in your basement. Well, having one place to put all that stuff in an online kind of cloud-based format, and then sending you reminders about all the stuff that is kind of hard to remember at times. Hey, change your filters in your HVAC system. Hey, clean your gutters, smoke detectors. All those things. Having a way to kind of remind people. So that's sort of where we're going. The final part of that is, much like Carfax has evolved now. Imagine if every time a plumber, an electrician, any kind of contractor came into your house, they scanned a barcode, and now you have a list somewhere of everything that's happened in your house. You have sort of this service record for your house that you have, so you can go back and say, hey, who did we use for that, or what did they do? I don't remember. And now you have a record of all that. So we're not there yet, but that's sort of the general trajectory.
That's great. I have a Google sheet that I try to update every time. I'm like 50% success rate.
Yeah, exactly.
I take a QR code. That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah. That's kind of where we're headed for sure.
How many people are on your team?
Yeah, so we're a pretty lean team right now. We have myself and Alex Walsh. She's our Chief Product Officer. We're here right in Wilmington. She also lives in the city. Our office is on 5th and Shipley. So again, we're very much in the city. So it's the two of us full time, 2 part-time folks who don't live here. Our head of marketing, who actually works for Zillow, and our Chief Technology Officer, who's a senior engineer at a tech firm. And then we have all of our developers are in the Philippines. So we have a team of developers in the Philippines who've been fantastic. Nice.
How can people download Nester? How can they?
Yeah, so it's actually a web app. So they just go to Nester, NESTER.app. When they go there, they can sign up, and if you're a homeowner, you can just sign up right there under the homeowner section, or if you're looking to buy a house, you can sign up as a buyer. It's all very easy. What we do is we walk you through a series of questions about your house. They were made for a novice. They're made to be very supportive and encouraging, and we ask you a bunch of questions. If you're a buyer and you have the listing or the seller disclosure, which is required here in Delaware, you can get through it. It takes a few minutes, but you can get through pretty quickly. And then we give you a bunch of follow-up questions to ask if you don't know the answer to something. We ask you a bunch. We kind of have those in one spot for you for follow-up. And it's real simple. Great. Well, we're all rooting for you. Well, thank you. It's been great. Thanks, yeah. And we're very. It's been great to have you as a councilman in the district here, and. Thanks for all that you do for the city. It's important work, and this is a great city. It's a great city to live and work and raise a family. So and thanks for all you do to make that happen. Definitely. Well, thank you, Brendan. As Nester continues to advocate for home buyers, homeowners, and sellers, you can stay up to date on their latest news by visiting Nester.app. And I'm James Spadola, your at-large council member for Wilmington, and thank you for being with us today.